This is the US Foods Implementation Plan. And guys, just to give you a background on US Foods is one of America's great food companies and a leading food service distributor, collaborating with approximately 250,000 restaurants and food service operators to help their businesses succeed. With 25,000 employees and more than 60 locations, US Foods provides its customers with a broad and innovative food offering and a comprehensive suite of e-commerce, technology, and business solutions. US Foods corporate headquarters is in Rosemont, Illinois, and generates approximately $24 billion in annual revenue. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is at stake? The purpose of this plan is to establish a consistent messaging informing specifically our US Foods Seattle Division employees, local restaurants, food service operators, and all US Foods stakeholders of the proposed changes set by Pietro Satriano, which is US Foods Chairman and CEO, to minimize the impact of the recently canceled merger with Sysco Foods. And just to give you a system overview, the proposed plan will affect not only our Seattle division, but also all US Foods warehouses across the country. The goals proposed by our guidance team are as follows: to raise capital, improve cash flow or profitability for US Foods, improve working practices and processes, eliminate excess jobs positions and duplicate management roles, and reorganize internal functions such as sales and marketing for efficiencies. The implementation plan is scheduled between February 2020 and ends on October 2020. Now, in terms of system description, this implementation involves the preparation of deployment consultants, marketing and advanced awareness of upcoming opportunities for training to the proposed audience, obtaining facilities and materials for the sessions, scheduling and registration, employees, as well as holding training sessions and evaluating them afterward for effectiveness. In terms of security, our US Foods management team will work diligently to address any security threatening issues during the transitional phase. We're going to take security very seriously, and we're going to identify all the information assets of the Seattle division to make sure they're up to date. We're going to assess the risk that may be encountered during the transition. We're also going to conduct a continuity impact assessment for the transition timeframe. We're going to capture also knowledge of data and policies from staff, and we're going to have a backup and mark all records before the transitional phase. We're going to conduct background checks on new users who have a high level of privileges, and we're also going to transfer ownership of information assets in a gradual and or parallel manner. We're going to increase monitoring and user training during transition. And we're also going to conduct a continuity impact assessment for disaster recovery plan, and we're going to update any risk files. Now, in terms of implementation, during the transitional phase, US Foods Pacific Northwest and 2 warehouse directors, along with the deployment project manager on site, will discuss changes with directors and department heads to prepare them for training availability and work processes, changes, and impacts. They're also going to attend unit staff meetings to discuss with staff changes that are proposed with a brief demonstration as the date of go live approaches. They're also going to announce coming changes of deployment at US Foods Seattle. They're going to email at monthly and bi-weekly intervals until training is available for those advanced awarenesses and training registration updates. And lastly, they're going to write and publish a brief US Foods newsletter on the US Foods site. When it comes to materials, written materials targeting specifically our US Foods Seattle Division employees, local restaurants, food service operators, and all US Foods stakeholders of the proposed changes set forth by CEO Pietro Satriano, who is also the US Foods Chairman and CEO, to minimize the impact of the recently canceled merger with Sysco Foods. These materials include a fact sheet. This is the base document. It should contain all the key information about the deployments, improvements to working practices, excess job eliminations, and new reorganization rules. Nextly are the standard presentation on PowerPoint. This is more detailed than the fact sheet, with examples and screenshots. Nextly is the video presentation, the same content as the fact sheet and the PowerPoint, but in a short video form and available in a manner that could allow partners and US Foods employees to link through it and embed it. And lastly is the infographics, graphic visual representation of information, data, or knowledge. The plan will serve as the guiding map for internal and external communication, including communication goals and objectives, audiences, messages, media, responsibility assignments, measurements, and evaluation. Implementing organizational change quickly will not be easy. It's not an easy task. There are major considerations and concerns of customer satisfaction, as well as the expectation of timely and accurate delivery of products to our customers, not to mention employee morale. Nevertheless, we believe that our strategy, coupled with our focus on increasing productivity, will continue to create long-term value for our stakeholders and position us favorably in an attractive and growing industry.